Hi, I'm David Kronmiller, and welcome to Breaking Bread, where I'll sit down with a guest or guests and discuss a topic that we don't fundamentally agree on, and over the course of a meal, hopefully we'll find some common ground. Let's eat. So I'm here with Brendan McNamara. He's an actor, writer, director, video blogger, improviser, anything else? What else do you do?
We're a player of life.
Player of life, facial hair grower.
Yeah, artiste.
Artiste, because he likes to fashion it. And we're going to talk today about something that that you avoid usually over a meal, and that is religion. And first, no, come back. It's okay. We're not going to talk about how each other are going to some kind of place of doom. We're going to be talking about what we like about religion and faith and spirituality. I'm an agnostic. Brendan is a Christian. And you would wonder, what do we have in common? And I think we have a lot in common. If you recognize Brendan from our other show, and Boris, he's also an actor from our show and plays a villain in that. So obviously we have that in common as it is.
Yeah.
Playing make-believe and doing it hopefully for a living. But when it comes to religion, first of all, one thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is what an agnostic is. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that was at some point kind of confusing to all of us what an agnostic is. I'll explain it very quickly. An agnostic is not someone who just doesn't have any spirituality or any faith. It's somebody who, and it's different for everybody who's an agnostic. For me personally, I grew up Baptist, independent fundamentalist Baptist when I was a little kid in the Amazon. And as I got older, I started not liking organized religion and studying and looking into other religions and finding things in all the faiths that I liked and I enjoyed. And it was those commonalities that led me to becoming an agnostic and practicing my spirituality versus a specific religion. One thing I love about what you do is you host a daily kind of, explain to me, what would you call it?
Yeah, it's called Christian Sands, which I named it after a tricky trip-hop song, just because I was looking for some catchy tune I could stick on it. And I basically started wanting to make a daily practice, a daily sort of similar to tithing, I suppose, where I wanted to start my day out, give the first fruits of my labor, a sacrifice, if you will, of that which I do have to give. Because monetarily, I ain't got much. I got unemployment. So what I wanted to give of myself, and I'm an actor and I'm a writer, and so much about acting and performing and writing is trying to find truth through fiction in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
So I wanted to just get to the rawness of me, and so just start this morning. Yeah, so I do the devotion every morning. Just wake up before I've brushed my teeth, taken a sip of water, anything, just kind of get into the Bible, flip on through, look at some words, process it, pray about it, do some surrender, some intense surrender, which to me is like probably the dominant portion of my religious practice is surrender. And then just release. And the cool thing is that I've gotten, the views aren't enormous, but I've gotten responses from people who are like, "Amen, brother, thanks, I needed that." And people are like, "Oh wow, Christians usually turn me off, but I kind of dig this, thanks." Which is like mind-blowing and lovely to me, because that's the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Jesus didn't come and like hang out with just like a bunch of like Hasidim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went and hung out with everybody. Oh, indeed.
It's wonderful chicken salad made by my wife, by the way. The bread
Praise.
is from Porto's down the street.
I love me some Porto.
And you can't do breaking bread without breaking bread.
Actual bread.
One thing I liked about your...
Do you want to put this on your plate?
I would love a
dip
little.
it.
And what I really appreciated about your daily devotions was that you were talking about the things that I really liked about Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
the things that I liked about all organized religions. And when I say all organized religions, I mean anything from Buddhism to Christian. There's something in common with all of them.
Yeah.
And we so often just focus on the little things that are different.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at even just the world, it's something like 89 to 90% of the world has a professing belief in either a form of Buddhism, Taoism, or monotheism. And all of monotheism, fascinatingly, comes from the same dude, like ultimately the same Abrahamic source, which is like, which is super fascinating. It's always been fascinating how like the Muslims and the Jews are at such war, and it's like
it makes no sense to me.
Well, it's the same guy. You guys just ultimately some other guys came and said some other stuff, and you're like, oh well, that changes the entire game. But they're literally not only just one could say we're all worshiping the same God, you know,
but they're literally worshiping
the exact same guy. So I feel like there's so much to be found there. Yeah. You know, and yeah, exactly. And for me too, was having a lot of Buddhist friends and like loving the way they sort of described samsara or attachment, and so much of things is about release. And it's actually led me to a deeper understanding of just analyzing Christ's words, which were very much the same, which was, have you kept all these commandments? Have you kept God's law? Have you, honored your mother and father? Have you never committed adultery? Have you never stolen anything? Sweet, I've done all the things. Okay, good. Sell all you have and follow me. And then people are like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean give up everything I have? But, and Buddhism is so much about that same thing, of literally, and not only just like, oh, okay, I'm going to push this away and not eat it. I'm going to give away all my money. I'm going to sell my things. But making it a daily practice of literally everything you do being in release about it.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel, I mean, to me it seems as if so many religious people, and I won't even say the religions themselves in the broad sense. I mean, the other day I looked up some research, and there's over 35,000, sects of Christianity.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different interpretations of the same book and the same God, and that's just Christianity. That's not Buddhism or Islam or Judaism. But so many people who are people of faith, they seem to be focused entirely on the end game, on dying. On what happens after you die. And the thing that I really liked about Christianity, or about a lot of the study that I had when I was younger, was, for instance, in the Genesis story, you have something where it seems to me we're being told to be a shepherd, or taking care of the garden, or taking care of the planet. And there's, in that, I think, there's also a kind of an instruction of enjoy what I've given you, or and if that I is God, or I kind of consider it universe. I don't put a name on it myself. I think that's neat. I think that's wonderful to celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I mean, we're in this wonderful outdoors right now, enjoying nature. And so often we spend so many times sitting in a room worrying about when we're going to die, and if we've done everything right in order to satisfy what happens after we die. I'm going, how can you have?
Yeah, and then it becomes like almost a meaningless transaction at some point. Yeah. When you're literally, okay, I'm trying to save up goodness then so I can buy my salvation. As opposed to like, yeah, exactly, this whole sort of surrender thing that it's kind of led me to, I was like kind of struggling with this, releasing attachment, and then kind of became a little bit more of just surrendering to God, and then it became this whole theory that I'm still kind of wrestling through of consecration, which is that all that we do, all that I desire to do, everything I desire to do is to be consecrated to God, is to be an act of praise, and that God indeed gave us everything to enjoy. I often, in my own wrestling, trying to figure out who and what God is, because I certainly don't believe he's a white man with a long beard, and or even a Jewish man with a long beard. He's so, but to me, I get focused a lot on this stuff
why
too.
A beard? I mean, it's nice.
I know exactly. I don't know why does it somehow convey wisdom. But a grand artisan, you know what I mean? I mean, this is the most fascinating sculpture that one could ever see, and it changes daily. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? This is exactly what we all wrestle as artists to, like, oh, if I could just get at this somehow, if I could just kind of, and it can be both daunting and overwhelming to be like, oh, I've made this amazing thing, and then this great sunset happens at the end of the day, and you're like, you might have talked to me again. It becomes a joyful challenge.
Anyway, it's been really great talking with you and talking religion over a meal, and we didn't fight.
No, not at all.
We don't agree on all aspects of religion. We really don't.
Crazy, man.
We don't really, the theories I want to kind of practice or try to figure out if it's possible in this series, and hopefully we'll do more of these, is that over the course of a meal, you can, by having some commonality and a common experience, you can remind each other that we are human, and that we're basically the same thing, and we're after the same things, and that's just happiness and prosperity, whatever that means for each of us.
Yeah, indeed.
So thank you very much for coming.
No problem. God bless you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you for watching, and if you want to check out Brendan's work, we'll put that up on the screen right now, and tune in next time for yet another meal and hot topic. I'm David Kronmiller. Thank you for watching.